think I've got everything together. I got my old trusty, you know, I've got so many cookbooks it's unreal, but this is one that I put together with all the recipes that I have been working on and cooking over the years, and I like the recipes, so I saved them. And this is a recipe that I saved because I really like the recipe. But first of all, we got to grate some zucchini. If I can get me one of these zucchinis out of this tray. It might take more than one, I don't know. But I got some little ones here. But let's see. We can start. And I don't know if it's going to have too big of seeds. But I got to start grating my zucchini, y'all. I need 2 cups of, I think it's 2 cups of zucchini, shredded zucchini. Yeah, 2 cups of shredded zucchini. And thank goodness you don't have to peel it. But you do have to take the seeds out if they're very big. I'm hoping these aren't that big, so we'll see when we get to them. You know what? I think I can handle that better if I cut it in half. Because it's too heavy for me to try to grate it very well. And it is better that you use an old-timey grater like this rather than put it in your food processor. Anyway, this is the way they recommend doing it. It might take me forever to get it grated, but oh well. And again, all my vegetables have been washed before I ever put them in that tray. So I wasn't worried about washing it right now. So. And this is zucchini out of the garden. Y'all saw me pick it. Got somebody at the door. Y'all, I think that was Jehovah's Witnesses or something, but I told them I didn't have time to talk right now. And they asked me if there was any Spanish people, speaking people around, and I said, yeah, all these neighbors back over here are Spanish. I think that's the first time that I've ever had someone come knocking on my door when I started a video. I could have left the video going, but I didn't know who it was, so. But I wasn't in the mood to get in a conversation about religion to anybody, so. I think I'm going to put that there because it does have. I'm going to cut this open and just see how big the seeds are, because it's still a big enough piece that, yeah, the seeds are going to be too big in there. So I'm just going to get them out. Take a spoon and just hull them out, y'all. It's easy enough to do. because we don't want seeds in this. And I got one seed right there. But it's easy enough, you know, just like you were going to do if you were going to make stuffed zucchini. Just hull out the seeds out of the middle. And I think this one zucchini is going to make me 2 cups. So it'll be enough for my recipe, I think. Might have too much, but that's okay. And one thing, when you grate your zucchini, you don't want to squeeze any water out of it. You want to leave it just like it is. I think that's going to be hopefully 2 cups or more. We'll see here in a minute. Give me another measuring cup. I'll use that one up there. Where's my other one? I'll just put it in the plate. I'm going to measure it and put it in the plate. Yeah, that's a cup. And there's another cup, y'all. So that was pretty good. And it didn't even take half all of it. It took 3/4 of that zucchini. I could have left it in the bowl. I don't remember what order I mixed it up in. But I know the first time I ever did this recipe, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was so good. Okay, now is where we got to preheat our oven to 350. And line 2 8 by 3.5 or 8 by 4 inch loaf pans with parchment paper, which I've already done. And now we're going to get ready to mix up our ingredients here. And I've got to get my wooden spoon, because that's what I usually mix stuff with, because I don't want to put this in the mixer. It's going to be too thick. And I don't want it to shred up the zucchini any smaller than what it is already. So we're going to leave it like it is. We're going to put our 2 cups of flour. And if you're using plain flour, you need 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Or baking soda. I'm using self-rising, so I don't really have to do that. But it's going to take a tablespoon of cinnamon. Let's see if I can get this lid off. And they never make it so you can put them down in there. Well, not the tablespoon anyway. But there's a tablespoon of cinnamon. Just ground cinnamon. And salt. Like I said, if you're using plain flour, you'll need to add salt. And I usually add just a little bit of salt anyway, not a whole teaspoonful, but maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoonful. And we need our sugar. We've got 1½ cups of white sugar. Oops. I just mix that up all over the table. I get kind of messy, y'all. And I don't like the mess for the videos, so. But anyway, mix your flour, your cinnamon, your salt, and your baking soda, if you're using plain flour, in your bowl first. And I've just got a habit of always using self-rising flour. That way I don't have to stop to think about the baking soda or the salt. But I know a lot of people out there do use plain flour. I guess I use the self-rising because that's what my mom always used. And she was a fantastic baker. I mean, oh my gosh, she could bake anything. Now let's see. And now we want to beat our 3 eggs. You need 3 large eggs. And I'm just going to put it in my measuring cup. Since I've already got a measuring cup here. And I'm just going to beat them right up in the measuring cup. The egg off my fingers. I can just use a spoon to beat them up. Okay, now what we're going to do is add our 2 cups of zucchini to our flour. We're going to put in 3/4 cup of cooking oil. Mine just happens to be olive oil, but you can use whatever cooking oil you prefer. And I keep getting everything on my fingers. You're going to put a tablespoon of vanilla. You're going to add in your beaten eggs. Now, let's make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Add your zucchini, oil, vanilla, and mix together. You see, it gets kind of thick, so you don't want to try to mix it with an electric mixer or a processor because it's too much on it. I mean, it gets kind of difficult to even stir it with a wooden spoon like I'm doing, because I'm not the strongest person in the world. Now, I've got a bag of chopped walnuts, and this is a 2-cup bag, and you only need 1.5 cups of walnuts to put in this. So I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to dump them in there and leave off what I think is about 1/2 cup. Well, I didn't tear this straight. Where's my scissors? Well, I just had my scissors. I had them just a minute ago. I don't know what happened to them. Don't know where I put them, y'all. I'll use these. These are usually the ones I use in the garden and the kitchen anyway, if I can. Because I didn't tear that correctly. I'm always doing that though. Half the time I never tear these packages open correctly, and then I can't get them open. Okay, now what's going on? Good gracious. Let's see, I had oil in there. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to dump in all but about 1/2 cup. And then see if I can mix it up. Now what I'm going to do is just keep stirring this a little bit, because I want all that stuff just mixed up real good in there. And now what we got to do is divide it up and put 1/2 in each pan. And I'm never any good at that. Usually I get more in one than I do the other. But we'll try. Up. And it puts it about 1/2 a pan when you fill it up. I mean, when you dump it all and divide it up, it's about 1/2 a pan in each one. And that parchment paper is hopefully going to keep it from sticking. Now what we're going to do now is put it in the oven at 350 for 50 to 60 minutes. Sorry. And I always put my stuff in the sink and run water in it. So none of that stuff dries on the container and makes it, gets hard, and then it's hard to get washed off. But now we're going to just put these in the oven. Set my timer. Sorry about that, y'all. My AC kicked on and the fan started blowing, and I've got a duct under the kitchen table, and it blows that air up, and when it started, it just started blowing it up in my face, and it started, it made me start coughing. But anyway, we're gonna let that bake for 50-60 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you what else we're gonna do with it. Well, y'all, my cake is done, I believe. I've turned my oven off. They look pretty good. They got to cool for 5 minutes just in the pan. And then I've got to take them out of the pan and put them on a dish and let them cool some more before I can put a glaze on them. But we're going to make a glaze to go on our, let's see, need to find me a bowl. I've got a tablespoon of lemon zest that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of vanilla and about a half a cup of sugar, and that's confectionery sugar. But we've got to let our cake cool. And I'm just going to kind of guess at it. That's the zest from 1 lemon. Half a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm just going to use a regular teaspoon and put what I think is about a half. And then we need about a half a cup of sugar. That's the reason I'm titling this video, is it cake or is it bread? I probably do need me a bigger bowl. Let me see. I'll get this big one I started to get earlier. My white bowl. That shows you how prepared I am usually. But anyway, there's my vanilla and my lemon zest. And like I said, a tablespoon of lemon zest is usually about the amount of lemon zest you get off of a large lemon. And I didn't even need these. It wasn't even dry good yet, but we need a cup of sugar. And this is saying 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And I didn't realize I didn't have lemon juice, but I got lime juice, so I'm going to use lime juice. We'll see how that turns out. I don't think I got any lemon juice. No. But you know, it doesn't take much liquid to liquefy powdered sugar. So you have to be careful with what you put in there. I'm a shorty, so it's hard for me to reach a lot of things in my kitchen. But I'm just dissolving this powdered sugar, or confectionery sugar, in this juice of this, well, you would say lemon. I had a little bit of lemon juice, but I didn't have 1/4 cup, so. But I gotta taste it. I'm just gonna put some on my finger. That's different. And I do have 1 lemon, but I didn't have 1/4 cup, so. We'll see how this works. I've done this all the time. I don't have my juicer. I don't know what I did with it. So I'm just going to do it this way. That might even give me 1/4 cup. I may have to add sugar. Well, I don't know why I got this bowl. I can just squeeze it in the thing here and get all the seeds out. Sorry about that bag in the way. Yeah, but in a pinch, I'm going to use part of it lime juice and about half of it lemon juice. Because I didn't think to check to see if I had enough lemon juice to go on there. So, but that's almost, so we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I'm going to add just a little bit more sugar. But you really only need a cup. But since I added a little bit of extra lime and lemon juice, I put a little extra sugar in it. I know usually you put milk in a sugar glaze, but in this one you don't put the milk. You put the lemon juice instead. Now let's see, get some on my finger. That's good right there. Ooh, that's still hot. And I'm just gonna, I like it to put it up right side up instead of upside down. Ooh, I don't have a cooling rack, so I have to put it on there. But now we're gonna let these two cool off. Because I think they're a little bit too hot to put the glaze on yet. Yeah, the glaze is 1 tablespoon of lemon zest, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/2 cup of sugar, and 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And I improvised. I put 1/2 lime juice and 1/2 lemon juice with the lemon zest. So it's still going to be real good. I promise you. I mean, I know you can't taste it, you can see it. But that is going to be so good. I see the corner of my, I didn't get some of my parchment paper in the very corner, so it did pull my little corner off, but it didn't hurt it enough to really bother it any, so I'm just going to go with that. Oh well, I won't use this yet. I may use it later. But anyway, we've got to let this cool. And then I'm going to put my glaze on it. And we'll come back when it cools off and we'll put the glaze on. But oh, it smells heavenly, y'all. It smells so good. So I'm going to bring you back when the cake is cooled off and we'll put the icing. Well, I think I'm going to start putting some of this glaze on my, I don't know if you want to call it bread or cake. It's kind of a cross between both, I guess. And I'm going to wait, because this one, it's not, neither one of them is completely cooled off yet. but I was anxious to try this. So but there you go, y'all. There is my, supposed to be a recipe for zucchini bread, but it turns into cake to me. I don't think it actually is a bread anymore. Not when you fix it this way. I gotta get a fork. There you go, y'all. Take a bite. That's pretty darn good. But you can see it's still hot, so the glaze didn't stay on the top. It kind of dripped over the side. So I'm going to wait and do this one when it cools off really good. What I'm going to do is just do this. Just put some of it on the top of the piece I cut. That is so good with all the walnuts, that zucchini and everything in there. It makes a really healthy bread or cake. So if you make it, you decide. And one thing I'm going to try to see if I can do is sticking up my glaze a little bit. I mean, it's good the way it is, and if that was kind of cooled off a lot more, it would work better. Because I want a little bit thicker glaze than what they say. I don't want it so runny. Even if it's hot, I don't want it that runny. So I'm just adding more confectionery sugar and some of my lemon glaze that I've already mixed up. Yeah, that's kind of the more consistency that I want it to be. So you see, I do take recipes and I make them my own. It's still going to have that lemony taste, I'm sure. Oh yeah. But it's going to be more of a icing type glaze. And that's what I'm going after. So you can do it either way. I mean, I hardly ever go exactly by a recipe. I always change it up a little. And I will let it run off the edge some. Can go down the corners, down the sides. Yeah, I like the thicker glaze myself. I think it does it a lot better to have the thicker glaze like that. Looks better too. So I'm just going to let that, it's still lukewarm, so I'm going to let it cool off some more. I'll put the rest of this on this one. So you see, you don't have to go by just exactly by a recipe. You can change it up and turn it into your own. And I'm probably just going to use that and mix up a little bit more confectionery sugar in it, because I'm not done. I'm not done with this yet. Like I said, I change every recipe that I ever come across. None of the recipes I think that I cook come out just like what they intended for it to be. Got another whole bag of this here, so let me cut off of the corner of it so I can pour some out. I may have too much sugar in there now, I don't know. I don't think you can really have too much. I don't like that being shown on the camera, it looks terrible. Yeah, it takes very little to make a sugar glaze. Some of that first that I put on there is soaked down into the plate, so it's going to soak into the cake, the loaf, and it's going to give it a really good taste. And then too, if you put it on there while it's just a tiny bit warm, it does help it to trickle down the sides. Like that. That one's already starting to dry up a little bit. That didn't turn out too pretty, did it? Take some more of this, just pour it on the top. But I guarantee you this is going to be so good. It almost looks like butter on there, but it's lemon juice and lime juice with that sugar. Some on this side now because I don't want it all to soak up into that one. I want some of it over here on this one. It's supposed to be on the top, not on the bottom. Now, I'm just going to leave them alone and let that icing settle on it. Put a little bit on my piece here. I know, I'm silly. Being silly with it. But that turns out to be a really healthy bread or cake or whatever you want to call it. I call it zucchini cake. Because to me it's more like a cake than it ever is a piece of bread. So, there you go. Oops, my tripod was stuck. You think they'll pass? See how it's running down the sides? And that's the way I want it. I don't want it just smooth everywhere. I want it runny down the sides and some of it soaking into the bottom. That makes it really good. But anyway, I think if you try this recipe, you're going to love it. With the sugar glaze icing on it, the lemon glaze, or whatever you want to call the name of it. Lemon glaze sugar icing. But it's really good. So, please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye now.